The Mermaid Shells by Lana. Sometimes you can never guess what wonders you will find, if only you will look and learn and keep an open mind. I remember such a day when I was young like you, when I discovered something too amazing to be true. It was on vacation one bright summer by the sea. We rented out a beach house for Mom and Dad and me. One day after dinner, just before the sun went down, I asked if I could go out to the beach and look around. "Of course," Mom said, "but don't you dare go swimming all alone." So off I ran, excited to be finally on my own. Way up ahead, I saw a lady walking on the shore. I thought, she's not like anyone I've ever seen before. And as I walked up nearer, she turned with some surprise. Then nervously, she looked around with shining silver eyes. She smiled and motioned to me to come over to her, where I saw what looked like rainbows dancing in her hair. Her lips were full and golden. Her skin had such a sheen that when she moved, the color changed from pink to gold to green. Her clothes were made of seaweed, her jewelry made of shells. Her purse was woven in seagrass, like no store ever sells. Awestruck, I stood there staring, with mouth wide open too, and thought, she's the most beautiful grown-up I ever knew. She laughed to see me staring. It was a lovely sound, like water trickling over stones and splashing to the ground. She cleared her throat and said, "Hello, I thought you all had gone." Her voice was like a gurgling stream as she continued on. "My name is Ladoggle," she said pleasantly. "What's yours?" I noticed that her earrings were what looked like fishing lures. I managed to say, "Lana." She said, "How do you do?" Then I simply blurted out, "What in the world are you?" She gave a watery laugh and said, "I guess my secret's out. I'm what you'd call a mermaid." But I still had some doubt. "Really?" I said, "but I thought that mermaids all have tails." She said, "Only in the water, where our mermaid side prevails." Then she held her hand out and softly told me, "See? This is what we come for. They are stolen by the sea." In her hand were tiny shells with tiny holes drilled in. She dropped them in her purse and said, "Sit down, let me begin." She told me of a village of mermaids beneath the sea, a place they call Galugla, where they have a factory. There, mermaids make their jewelry, the kind that she had on. They drill those tiny holes in shells all day till light is gone. And sometimes there will come a storm with waves so big and gray, the factory walls of coral fall. The shells are washed away. Then at last the waves will toss them up onto the land, where mermaids, even humans, find them scattered in the sand. I had to admit I'd never noticed them before. I'd never known such treasures could be found upon the shore. "If you find some," she added, "make a necklace of your own. Then when you go swimming, you will never feel alone." And if you get in trouble, all you have to do is shout. For when you're wearing mermaid shells, we'll come and help you out. Then suddenly behind her, and much to my surprise, 2 more mermaids stood there. Twins, and just my size. These are my twin daughters, Pop and Schlish, she said. They've never met a human. Each one then shook her head. They looked just like their mother, just tinier, I think, with rainbow hair and shiny skin of green and gold and pink. Bop pointed to the water, where I was thrilled to see a dolphin laughing at me. That is our pet, said she. And her name is Fleedly. She likes humans too, but only very nice ones who won't hurt us, ones like you. Then Ladoggle noticed that the sun was going down. She said, "Let's hurry, girls. There's still some shells left to be found." And when we'd gathered quite a few, they each gave some to me for keeping as reminders of my friends below the sea. "It's time that we were going," Ladoggle sadly said. "For sharks come out at nighttime, and that's when we go to bed." She added, "We must swim far before the sun has set. But we're so glad we met you, and we never will forget." We waded in the water until it reached our knees. Their silver eyes were sad. Rainbow hair danced on the breeze. I watched in fascination as their skin turned into scales. They said goodbye, then dove head first and splashed me with their tails. The dolphin Fleedly whistled, and with a squeak she gave a mighty spinning leap and disappeared into a wave. The sadness I was feeling to watch them swim away was worse than anything I'd ever felt until that day. Farther, swiftly farther, they leapt and swam, and then, when I could barely see them, they turned and waved again. Then the sea was empty, for they had gone below. I thought, who will believe me? But I had shells to show. I ran back to the beach house to tell my mom and dad, but they just laughed and teased me when they saw the shells I had. Still, I made a necklace, and I wear it to this day whenever I'm going to the beach to swim and play. And there are lots of times when I'm pretty sure I see what looks like floating rainbows not far away from me. And when I'm walking on the beach, I'm always looking down, and through the years, there's quite a lot of mermaid shells I've found. I found the strangest basket on the beach the other day. I filled it with the shells and let the tide float it away. It disappeared among the waves, and what did I behold? I'm sure I saw a shining flash of pink and green and gold. Well, there you have my story. It's quite a tale to tell. But how else do you think a perfect hole gets in each shell? So when you're at the beach one day, you'll know now when you see a perfect tiny mermaid shell just how it came to be. Anyone can find them there. Be sure to get you some. But leave a few there in the sand for when the mermaids come. The end. I believe in mermaids, they are real to me. They have shiny fish tails and live below the sea. Their tails turn into legs when they come onto the land, so they can gather pretty shells lying in the sand. Mermaids, mermaids, lovely as can be. Mermaids, mermaids, swimming in the sea. Mermaids, mermaids, tell me, wouldn't you love to see a mermaid? I would too. Do you believe in mermaids? Lots of people do. Many say they've seen one and swear it's really true. So maybe if we wish hard when we go to the beach, we'll see a mermaid in the waves, close enough to reach. Mermaids, mermaids, lovely as can be. Mermaids, mermaids, swimming in the sea. Mermaids, mermaids, tell me, wouldn't you love to see a mermaid? I would too. Mermaids, mermaids, tell me, wouldn't you love to see a mermaid? I would too. The book, The Mermaid Shells, is written, illustrated, published, copyrighted by Lana Chappell. The song, The Mermaid Song, is written, arranged, recorded, copyrighted, and has all vocals done by Lana Chappell, and is published by Donna Chappell Music, BMI, Nashville. All rights reserved.